What's up, everyone? Welcome. This is Latinos en el Mundo. My name is Isaac Meisner, and today we are joined by Cinthya Carmona. Cinthya, you might remember her as Brandy in East Los High or Sophie Cardona in Greenhouse Academy. Yet she has a new movie coming out with none other than Shia LaBeouf and George Lopez. Cinthya, how are you today?
Hi, Isaac. I'm so happy. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show today. I'm honored.
Oh, definitely. No, thank you for being here. We're so excited. We're just talking off camera about what this movie represents for the Latinx community. So tell me all about it. Tell me a little bit of what it's about, because it's a very exciting plot. Tell me what it was like finding out that you got the part, and also, again, just coming back to what it represents for our community.
Well, the tax collector actually follows 2 days in the life of David Cuevas, who is a tax collector and runs an organized crime group in Los Angeles. So basically, him and his very cool partner, Creeper, played by none other than Shia LaBeouf, drive around town in the streets of South Central LA and just all of LA, really, collecting different taxes from different gangs. So you see that side of his life, right? It's definitely not an easy job whatsoever. It's not a walk in the park, and it's definitely not a box of kittens. But we do get to see a different side of his life when we take a look at his family life, and that's where I come in. So David, the Cuevas family, they live the Mexican-American dream. I play his wife, Alexis Cuevas, and we have two adorable little kids. This is like, I'm talking about ride or die love. We've been together since we were 17. We've survived. We've survived. We have a beautiful house. Our kids go to private school, and Alexis has a very it's very important for her to just keep up this image of this perfect lifestyle, right? Everything is just pristine. She wants everybody to know how good the Cuevas have it. Now, she's no stranger to the sacrifices that her hubby has to make in order for them all to keep up this lifestyle. And over the course of 2 days, we see our lives turn completely upside down when a new boss is released from jail. His name is Conejo, and he's the real deal in life and on screen. So the movie is basically about the price of power, right? How far are you willing to go to get and keep what you want, and at what sacrifice? But at the end of the day, it is a movie about family, and it's about love, and it's a primarily all Latino cast, and it's exciting. There's a lot of action. It's directed by David Ayer, who, as we know, has had some really kick-ass movies in the past, and I think you're all going to really like it.
Yes, it is actually going to be released on August 7th, so very, very soon. Tell us about...
Very soon.
Yes, it's going to be exciting to be able to see it on VOD as well. And
yeah, absolutely, from your home.
Yes, so the comfort you were talking about maybe having like a release party at your place.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, congrats again, because like you said, it's
gracias.
Accomplishment, of course. And speaking of
gracias.
that same, keeping primarily Latinx cast and everything, going back to East Los High, that was one of the first, if not the first, show that was completely Latinx cast. So
yeah.
About the importance of that and what it represents of, again, investing for studios, production companies to invest in our stories, or regardless if it's a Latinx story, just our talent.
Of course. Well, listen, when we talk about just being completely honored to work on projects in general, one of my very first series when I moved to Los Angeles, I'd been living in New York, I'm from the East Coast, and I was doing theater at the time. And when I came to LA, the first series that I got the chance to be a regular on was East Los High. And at the time, I wasn't too familiar with how big of a deal that show was. And now, 4 or 5 years later, I look back on that show and I say, we were part of history. Like, is anybody else aware of the fact that 10, 15, 20 years from now, we'll look back on that show and we'll say, okay, that was basically the Latino Mickey Mouse Club. Mm-hmm. Every actor on that show, Carlito Oliveira, Alexandra Rodriguez, everyone on that show, Gabriela Echevarria, who's killing it right now. Noemi Gonzalez, who's one of my favorite Latina actresses in the game right now, who's also on The Tax Collector. I had to throw that in there. It was incredible to work on a show that was it was all Latino cast and crew. It had been going on for 4 seasons already at the time that I got onto it. That's a long time for a show to be on in general. Nowadays, things get canceled left and right. This show was on for 4 seasons. Not only 4 seasons, it was also nominated for multiple Emmys. That's a big deal. What does that say? And it's the same thing, the same message that I'm trying to continue to just shout from the rooftops. Latinos, we can carry projects. Latinos, we get the job done. Okay, like we make great content. We have very interesting stories to tell all across the board. So it is really important, and that's the message that we are continuously trying to show studio executives and networks and studio heads that we can and we will and we are. We're definitely not stopping here. This feels like, we've come a long way, 100%, but it's just now maybe starting to feel like we are starting to just be a little bit more open-minded when it comes to ethnic talent all across the globe. You know what I mean? However, for me particularly, Latinx, we are 4 to 6% representation in front of the camera, and behind the camera even less. So the more that we fight to have these projects made, the more that we invest in doing them ourselves, I think the world is slowly starting to catch on, and we're not going anywhere.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that you said we can, we will, and we are. Because we are
absolutely
putting ourselves out there. And you see companies in all over media, news, anything you can think of.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, we are getting there, but we do have a long way to go. And speaking of that success and the Emmys and everything, I don't know if people realize the whole journey it takes for a show to even just get 1 full season.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
And you guys got to the point where Prince Royce even joined the show for an episode. So tell me about that experience, having him on, because I would be starstruck.
Oh, he was so cool.
About your dream collab.
He was so cool.
I bet.
Okay, that's a lot. Now I have to think about my dream collab real quick, but I can easily say that having Prince Royce come on, it was okay. Imagine I come on to this incredible show. I have this funky character, Brandy, who's just off the wall. It still feels like a dream, and just putting myself back on that set of East Los High and how legendary and iconic everything was, to also have the chance to work with Prince Royce on that season. Now, he came in there and he was a full-on actor. I had never seen him act in anything before, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if he's really been much of an actor. We right? Yeah, we know him more through his music, but I'm telling you, he came in there and killed it. He killed it. And I got to have a couple of scenes with him, and every day that we were on set, it was nothing but jokes. He's so sweet, and what can I say? I loved what he brought to the show. I think the fans were even more excited. They already loved the show. Our East Los High fans are so incredible. They still support us to this day and beg us to just have at least a cast reunion, but they were so excited to have Prince Royce. It's funny because I ran into Royce at the gym a year ago, and he was like, "What's up? What's going on?" And I'm like, "Hey!" So just that, I say that to say that he's just cool. He's really cool, very talented, and really present, which I thought was awesome. But we were talking about our dream collabs, right?
Yes.
I mean, I have so many. My dream as an actress is to work with Alfonso Cuarón.
Yes.
Right? Just dream project all the way. There's so many Latina actresses that I just love so much. I've always been a huge admirer and fan of Penelope Cruz. She's, one of my favorite actresses, and I would love to work with her someday, And who I'm really loving, I'm really vibing with this Mexican actress right now. Her name is Alexa Demi. she's just killing it. She's killing it. And I love her style. I love that, you know, I would love to work with her on something. I think we should play sisters or something. She's cool. Total girl crush.
Well, it's good that we're putting it out in the universe. And again,
I do that all day. I just manifest it.
Right, exactly. And who knows, we might end up having her on the show as well, and we'll show her definitely.
I hope so. Yeah. Yeah, just be like, you know, this girl said she had a crush on you and she wants to work together. I have one more that I have to include in there. I have to throw that in. So it's fun since, you know, working with David was so incredible. Obviously, I've studied a lot of David's work, and one of my favorite movies of his is End of Watch. And even before End of Watch, I've always been a Michael Peña fan. Always. I think he's incredible. Just, I mean, every time I watch him in something, I like look at everybody around me and I'm like, he's so good, right? Like, he's so good, right? Right? So just recently watching him on the first season of Narcos, I'm just like, I just need to work with you, Michael. Wherever you are, we just need to work together. Like, I've already done the whole David Ayer boot camp thing. I know you had to do it too. We've had to do the whole martial arts training with Sensei. Like, let's just work together. The list goes on, right? Like,
absolutely.
I got the chance to meet Rita Moreno, and she, you know, I was absolutely starstruck when I met her, and just so many people that I really respect. Eva Longoria, like, the list is endless, and that makes me so happy, right? Because back in the day, there were a handful of Latinx actors.
Oh, absolutely.
And we knew them. And now it's like, oh wait, but there's this person, and look at this one, and Gael Garcia Bernal, and so many incredible people that you're just like, I can't keep up.
And everyone is so proud to be Latino. They're like shouting it through the rooftops. They're like, yes, I'm this, I'm that, my abuela was this, my whatever. Everyone is like so proud to be Latino, which is amazing.
Absolutely. And I love that. And I think, you know, the only thing I want to say to my fellow Latinxs that are watching this right now is support Latinx projects. It's really important, right? Like, the same way that we go off and just support every other project or movie, Leo's new movie, like, no disrespect to any other actor, but it's really important that we support each other's projects
100%.
to just raise that visibility as much as possible, right? Just tune in, watch Vida, right? When it was on air, Vida, for example, shows, you know, Beauty and the Baker unfortunately just got canceled, but that was a really beautiful look at a Latino family in Miami. So just make it, do your part, make it your duty to just support these projects, because you know what? The more that we support, the more that we'll get to do, and that's what matters. Yeah. We gotta make those numbers, guys.
It's crazy when you think of it, because that even includes outside of the entertainment business. It includes coffee shops that are Latino owned.
Of course.
Clothing brands, makeup brands, but it's just nuestro granito de arena, you know, like, that's the least.
No, claro.
In your own people. Lastly, I want to talk about that special person in your life that is someone, like I said, that I admire, your mom.
Okay. Oh.
She is in the battlefield fighting COVID-19. So
absolutely.
What does it feel to have your mom go out there and literally help change the world right now?
Wow. I wasn't ready for that one. I was like, okay, who else did I work with? What other famous person did I work with? You know? But no, she is the most famous person in my life. So I'm honored that you would bring her up, and I really appreciate that. It's not always. So if I cry, don't judge me. My mother is a superhero, right? And I'll be honest, her and I didn't always have the best relationship growing up, because we're both really strong women, and we always kind of just like, we always clashed. And now as an adult, I can look back and not only see everything that she's taught me that I use in this industry, which is completely different from the industry that she's in, but what she instilled in me is exactly what she's doing now. She is fearless. In the middle of a pandemic, she's on the front lines. I'm talking about, my mom was always the nerd, basically. Like, my mom has always been a histologist. She's always been on the research side of things. And now it was primarily with just like cancer cell and tissue. That's what she's done my whole life. Like I grew up with just like all these random lab tests and tubes and microscopes and all these weird things in my house. Her only focus is with testing COVID-19 and just the background, the research of everything. She's over at the University of Miami. I'm from Miami. So she's over at the University of Miami Hospital, and she's in the thick of it. And so not only is it's scary, I'm not going to lie, to just have the most important person in your life just out there, but she's so fearless. And when you speak to her, she knows so much about what's going on, and she's the perfect person that to speak to about just how to take care of ourselves and how to be responsible and what's really happening. And what has helped me about this so much is that sometimes if we're not directly affected by this virus, we think it doesn't exist, right? Oh, it's just people are getting sick and we hear about it in the news, but it's not happening to me, and so it's not real. That it's very common to think like that. I mean, if you're in the comfort of your own home, you don't really know what's going on. My mother is the first person that will tell you it's very much real. I see thousands and thousands and thousands of cases in Miami alone. It is not something to play around with. And we just need to do our part and wear our masks and just be as cautious as possible. And I'm so grateful that I have her to just remind me. And she's been such a great example in my life of the real heroes, right? Like, I'm an actress and I love what I do and I love working in the entertainment industry, but I do sometimes feel like actors and artists, sometimes we're glorified and we're celebrities, right? And then when it comes to times like this, you really see that these people, these healthcare workers, are the real heroes, are the celebrities, and should be praised because they're out there every single day putting their lives at risk for all of us. So to my mom and to every healthcare worker out there, really, thank you for everything that you're doing. You're just keeping us alive and sane. And I'm going to call my mom after this interview and be like, Mommy! I called her earlier and she was sleeping.
Because again,
thank you.
It takes, like, I can't imagine, like, she puts people that she doesn't even know before her. So that's just.
And her family. Yes.
Yeah.
And her family. And it's funny, like, I know my mom will be like, why are you telling people that? But my mom was only supposed to do 2 or 3 months, like, just like, while the pandemic was just in full force. And recently they obviously things haven't gotten as good as we expected them to, no? So recently her company was like, hey, we want to keep you on longer. And of course, my father and my family is like, hey, like, do you have to do it? And my mom was like, absolutely. And just signed on again. And her schedule is crazy. She's in a lab all day just testing COVID. So kudos to Mama. Es la mejor. Es una reina.
Cinthya, thank you so much for telling us
Isaac,
all
gracias.
about all these amazing projects, and your mama.
And my mommy. Thank you for bringing her up. Josefina, she's the real MVP. And when she sees this, she's going to be so happy. She's always catching everything that I do whenever she can. So she'll be so happy to see this. Thank you for that.
The name of the whole world, literally, because it's very admirable.